Welcome everyone to this BYU Pathway Worldwide webinar. We're so excited to have each and every one of you with us today. My name is Verna Tukuafu, and I am an International Area Manager overseeing the Pacific and Asia areas. Before we start with the overview of BYU Pathway Worldwide, I'd like to remind you that we have a chat room that's going on right now. And so if you have a question that you would like to ask during the webinar, please feel free to go ahead and pop that in, and one of our colleagues will be able to answer that for you. Right now, we would like to start. I'd like to pass the time over to my colleague who will be presenting the overview of BYU Pathway Worldwide.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining with me today. My name is Matthew Mon, and I'm an area manager for BYU Pathway Worldwide. I'm excited to be here with you today, and ideally through this presentation, I hope that we'll be able to answer some of the questions that you may have. Principally, is BYU Pathway Worldwide the right fit for you to either start or begin your degree? So as we go through this, you may have some questions. Feel free to please add those questions into the chat, and we can either answer them during the presentation or during the Q&A process at the end. But I hope that this will be informative and be able to help your understanding concerning Pathway and how BYU Pathway Worldwide could bless or help you. So first of all, what is BYU Pathway Worldwide? Well, in association with BYU Idaho and Ensign College, BYU Pathway Worldwide offers access to a spiritually based degree that's completely online and at a significantly reduced cost. These three icons that you see before you tell the story of why Pathway was created. There are typically three reasons why individuals either do not start or finish higher education. One is tuition cost. The second is access, and they don't have access geographically to a campus location. Or lastly, there's fear. There's academic fear that somebody may or may not be successful in completing college, or maybe you've had the thought or know someone who's had the thought of, I'm not cut out for college, or it's not the right fit for me. Well, BYU Pathway Worldwide was established to answer those three concerns and to overcome them. So first, as it states here, BYU Pathway Worldwide tuition is a significantly reduced cost, and we'll discuss that a little bit later on. Secondly, it's totally online, and so regardless of scheduling conflicts that you might have, or your work schedule or home situation, whatever it might be, that there's flexibility built into this for you to be able to complete your assignments as you're able to. And then lastly, it's a spiritual environment where not only are you taking religion classes, but you have the support of Pathway missionaries as well as your fellow students to help you in this process. When BYU Pathway Worldwide was created in 2017, President Russell M. Nelson gave the following quote during his inaugural remarks. He said, BYU Pathway Worldwide brings an innovative approach to education, one unique to the church educational system and to the world. One of the reasons Pathway is an innovative approach is for the three reasons that we just discussed. It provides access, it provides low cost, and it provides an environment of faith where individuals are able to be blessed. And in this process of higher education, to bless the individual as they continue to work toward better employment, better opportunities, and to help their home. We currently operate in over 180 countries, all 50 states of the U.S., of course, and then we serve over 60,000 students as recorded here in 2022. Now, what are some of the offerings that we have? We have 6 degrees that are scalable regardless of where you live, and they've been designed to be able to help you become more employable based on whatever geography that you live in. So we have a business degree, technology, health, communication, family studies, or professional studies. And each of these degrees is built, as we'll discuss, with certificates in order to help you become more vocationally ready and job ready in a much quicker time frame. So how does it work? Well, your degree is built up not only of general credits and elective courses, but Pathway takes the approach of utilizing professional certificates to help you become employable faster. So as you begin your BYU Pathway Worldwide experience, you enter into your first certificate and you complete that. It's typically 5 courses. And after that, you move on into your second certificate. And in addition to that second certificate, you'll take other general and elective courses. After you complete the first and second certificate, along with these general ed and elective courses, that will culminate in the completion of an associate degree. Once you've done that, you'll move into your third certificate. And as these all stack into each other, you'll complete that third certificate, and then finally your other general and elective courses, which will culminate in completing your bachelor's degree. Now, why certificates? Certificates are able to teach job marketable skills that will improve your employment faster. And what we've been able to see is that certificates, they've been built and designed to be made up of 4 to 5 courses, but they can be completed in a year or less, depending on the pace that you're able to complete them. Now, why the certificate? Certificates are able to help you become more employable faster and help you to get that job before you get your bachelor's degree. So as you can see here, students who are seeking employment report making more money after completing that first certificate. And then, of course, once they complete that bachelor's degree, they see another jump in their income. So the value is bringing that skill set to the forefront instead of going through your first 2 years of college and just working on generals and not really coming away with any kind of skills, because sometimes life happens. And if something occurs and you need to step away from education for a while, if you haven't developed any skills to help you become employable, you haven't really been served. And so pathway structure allows you to get some of those job-ready skills at the forefront of your education versus having to wait until the completion of your bachelor's degree. So it brings that value to the forefront to help you sooner. This is a success story from Jonathan Ordias, who is in the Philippines. And this is what he reported. He said, "I now earn triple the minimum wage. It was the first time I saw my family eating enough food and worrying less about tomorrow. Now I'm just a couple months away from finishing my first certificate as a technical support engineer." Pretty incredible. So the first certificate, what we refer to as the introductory certificates, based on whatever degree you choose. So for example, if I was looking into a technology degree, one of those first certificates might be social media marketing. And so that would be the introductory certificate that I would take. Secondly, then for my second certificate, I'm given the following options, right? Maybe it's web development. And then thirdly, it could be software development. So these certificates will stack into each other, but they will build, obviously, the skills that you receive in the first certificate, you'll add on to those skills in the second, and then you'll add on to those into the third. So there's a structured route that as you take the first one, will build and continue on into those second and third certificates. Now, one of the most important things, obviously, in addition to your degree, is the development of your faith. 94% of our students say that their participation in BYU Pathway Worldwide increased their faith in their testimony of the Savior. Now, how is this accomplished? The material in our curriculum is good, of course, but it's that spiritual component of institute and religion and having assignments in the scriptures that will help develop that spiritual faith. And that's a part of the curriculum, which you will also earn credits and be able to apply toward your education and build your spiritual capacity in the process. Now, how do we serve students? As I read at the beginning, Pathway, in association with BYU Idaho and Ensign College, is what creates the opportunity for us to provide these degrees everywhere. So as you can see on the screen, this is how it works. Pathway is the access provider. So we are the online help center. We provide access to the courses. We provide the degree advising and the course registration for the curriculum that is built and offered through BYU Idaho and Ensign College. So the accreditation and the course material comes from those institutions, which is where the accreditation comes from. And then Pathway is the access point to be able to get that material online. So as you get your degree, it won't have BYU Pathway Worldwide stamped on it. It'll say BYU Idaho, or it'll say Ensign College, depending on the degree that you're after. So there are two ways to begin. There is what we refer to as the preferred path, which starts with Pathway Connect and really is recommended for most people, no matter their age or experience. Pathway Connect is 2 semesters. It's, as it says here, 5 to 6 courses, and all of these courses count toward your degree. So within your first block is the life skills portion. Within the second block is your professional skills. And lastly, in your third block is your university skills. While you're taking these 3 blocks, you're also taking religion courses that are provided by institute teachers. And as it states here, all of these courses and all of these credits are applicable and build toward your degree. In addition to that, within Pathway Connect is what we call the gathering. And the gathering is a weekly gathering of individuals either online or in person, and it's just during those first 2 semesters of Pathway Connect. And that's where you receive additional support, you receive additional help, and you are in a student-led peer mentor model, to where you're able to show up and you're able to ask questions and say, hey, I really struggled with this assignment. Does anyone know how to complete this problem? Or I struggled writing this paper because I don't understand the thesis statement. How do I analyze this? And so within this gathering, you've got the support of your local missionaries in addition to other students who are going through the same process, and you're able to work together to address those questions or concerns that you might have. One of the huge benefits of going through Pathway Connect, or the preferred path, is that there's no obstacle to entrance. There's no ACT, there's no SAT that's required to join. You don't have to have a high school equivalent or a diploma. If for some reason you had to stop high school, if you had to step away from your high school education for whatever reason, this is a nice open on-ramp for you to be able to get back into education and to work your way into BYU Idaho or Ensign College to complete your bachelor's degree. In addition to that, there is an English assessment that is required. And so maybe you're working on your English proficiency. In order to make sure a student will be successful, we have an English assessment. And if somebody's English is not yet proficient enough to where they'll be ready for BYU Pathway Worldwide, then those students are encouraged to jump into an English Connect 1, English Connect 2, or English Connect 3 group. As students go through that, they're able to work on their English skills, and then they can qualify to jump into BYU Pathway Worldwide. Again, once that English is at a proficiency level to where they'll be able to be successful. And then lastly, Pathway Connect is where the reduced tuition starts. Tuition prices are significantly less than other schools. And in addition to that, every student qualifies for a guaranteed tuition discount. Now, there's another option, which is what we refer to as the advanced path. So the advanced path is available for students who already have some university experience, who are very comfortable with online learning, and basically are applying through the same requirements that BYU Idaho has if they were to go on campus or if they were to apply directly to that school. So if somebody wanted to jump into the advanced path, they would have to submit ACT, SAT scores to join. They need to have completed high school or have an equivalent, have a GED. They have to pass the English assessment that's required. Now, the tuition for the advanced path is still low, but it's not as low as if somebody begins with Pathway Connect. And what does that look like? Realistically, so in numbers, Pathway Connect, the beginning tuition is $79 per credit. And for the advanced path, the tuition cost begins at $135 per credit. So somebody might ask the question and say, well, how do I know which path I begin with? How do I start? So looking at your situation, as you can see, for students who have 0 credits, if you're just at the beginning of your education, you don't lose any time by going through Pathway Connect. You earn credits, you lock in the lower tuition rate, and within 14 weeks, you're beginning that first certificate. So this preferred path is only 14 weeks long, and then you begin working on your first certificate. Really, it's an incredible offering, and is the right fit for the majority of our students. Now, if you have 60 transfer credits, say you did some education, you have an associate's degree already, if tuition cost is really not an issue for you, if you're not concerned about that, you are able to jump right into the advanced path. It is a little bit more, but you'll be able to go at your own pace and be able to complete those certificates and knock them out as quickly as you'd like. In addition to that, for some are not after a full bachelor's degree, but maybe they just want a certificate for basic accounting. Maybe they just want a project management certificate. So that's also an option, that if somebody is just after a single certificate, then they can jump into the advanced path, get that certificate, and then be able to carry on. Now, in addition to low cost, we also have some scholarship options, which are exciting. So the Heber J. Grant Scholarship is a scholarship that is guaranteed for anyone who applies. I've never known any scholarship that just you get it just by applying, but this is one. This is one where if you just apply for Heber J. Grant, you'll be able to get the scholarship, and it's available to all students, and it ranges from 10% to 25% to 50% tuition discount. So based on the module that you'll go through, the questions that you'll answer, it will help determine what your need is. And then based on your need, the scholarship will be adapted to meet whatever that need is, to give you either a 10 or a 25 or a 50% tuition discount. What's also wonderful is this Return to Missionary Scholarship, which is applicable to those who go through Pathway Connect, who also receive an additional 25% off after they've completed any kind of missionary service within the past 60 months or the past 5 years. So, for example, let's say if I come home from my mission, and I want to begin in BYU-Pathway Worldwide, and I start with Pathway Connect, based on the fact that I'm a returned missionary, I receive 25% off of my tuition. In addition, I can apply for the Heber J. Grant Scholarship and get an additional 10, 25, or 50% off of my tuition based on my need. So the potential of 75% off is there, or 50% off, or at a minimum for a returned missionary, it's 35%. So as I said, again, incredible offering that Pathway has been designed to really make education affordable and accessible to anybody. Now, for those who are in the advanced path, maybe you have, as we said before, you've got some existing transfer credits. How does that work? How many credits will Pathway accept? Well, Pathway and its partner schools have a very generous transfer credit policy. So what happens is, if you go in and begin in the preferred path, Pathway Connect, those transfer credits are added to your degree, and after you complete those 21 weeks of Pathway Connect, then they're added to your transcript. Or if you jump directly into the advanced path, then they're added 4 to 6 weeks after submission. So you're able to come, bring all the credits that you have, and Pathway, like it says, has a very generous transfer credit policy. So we have an internal joke that we try to say, no credit left behind. We've accepted credits from some individuals that were 20 years old, some 30 years old, that were still able to be brought over as elective credit. So whatever it might be, however old the credit may be, still come and apply, and then we'll see what we can do if that will transfer with you. Now, when do you apply? We have 3 enrollment periods. We have our winter, spring, and fall enrollment, as you can see, every January, April, and September. So it's very easy if you just go to the website. to BYU-Pathway.org. And in the right-hand corner is the apply button. And you're able to apply there and begin your application. So again, 3 times during the year, the normal academic calendar of January, April, and September. So lastly, President Nelson, in his Ensign article, What Will You Choose, back in 2015, gave the following quote, and he said, "Gain all the education you can. For us as Latter-day Saints, gaining an education is not just a privilege, it is a religious responsibility." And that's very much what we believe at BYU Pathway Worldwide. Because of our doctrine, because of who we are, we know that in order to become like our Father in heaven, we have to increase our capacity. We have to increase in knowledge and self-reliance to become more like him. And we're commanded to do that through the gift of education. And so, as I said earlier, BYU Pathway Worldwide is one of those things that has been established to try to help individuals to increase in capacity, increase in self-reliance as they continue their journey to become more like our Father in heaven. I'm grateful for my time that I've been able to have with you. I hope this presentation helped answer some of the questions that you may have. You may have more. If you do, as I said, please put them into the chat so that we can answer those questions either in the Q&A or we can get back to you via technology. But thank you again, everyone, for being with us here today, and appreciate your time during this presentation, and I hope it was helpful.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation on the overview of BYU Pathway Worldwide. As mentioned earlier, if you have any questions, the chat room is still going on, so please feel free to go ahead and pop that question in the chat room. We'll be able to answer that for you. Right now, we would like to hear from some student experiences that I think you'd love. So tune in while we share some of those student experiences with you.
Hello, my name is Stefana Wiha, and BYU Pathway Worldwide has helped me start my university degree. I'm doing it right here in Nuku'alofa Putonga. BYU Pathway Worldwide has helped me with a lot of things. Few of those things are: BYU Pathway helped me increase my testimony of the Savior. Because of BYU Pathway, I was able to learn a few of the history of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I also gained a more stronger testimony because of BYU Pathway. BYU Pathway has also helped me increase my confidence. I wasn't even confident enough to express myself before taking the Pathway courses, but because of Pathway, I was